What is up, Heisters? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's a new format, right? Den var inte på. My bad. Jesus Christ. Can you hear me, chat? Can you hear me, chat? Poetic, says chat. It is I. Now you see me. What is up, everybody? I forgot to put on the camera. How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to yet another. That's when I got rudely interrupted by my own technical incompetence. I was about to say, welcome to the first news with Almir. So, Sebastian, you mind closing the door? All right, chat. Good seeing so many heisters here. So, I'd just like to preface this stream and manage some expectations. Don't destroy my karma farm, Almir, please, says Krabik. So let's start off this stream by setting some expectations and giving some context to this stream, Heisters. So for the past 80 days, we haven't said shit about any upcoming content. Obviously, the paid community, that means you, have been extremely frustrated about that. I completely get behind that. Every time we've spoken about the lack of news on stream, I've always brought that up with the dev team. So because of the lack of news and the lack of communication, we want to change things up and see if this works better for you heisters. So what we're doing is that every time we have something to share, right? And this is the part where we're talking about managed expectations. Because some of you, no, all of you coming into the stream now have different expectations of what you're going to see or hear or learn or whatever, right? And for what we're going to do is that when there's a Heist with Almir stream, you can know that there is no news to be shared because it's a Heist with Almir stream, right? We're just going to play the game, have fun with each other, smack talk, Krabik Gangster, and so on, right? And whenever we do have news, however small, we're going to do a news with Almir stream, right? And just like, when Neo asks Morpheus, where are we? Morpheus says, more important than where is when, right? And I think the most important question that the community has been asking the past weeks and months is, when is the next update? And for every news with Almir stream, we're just going to tear off the Band-Aid at the start of the stream. So those of you who are just tuning in for the stream to learn something new, get your info and can leave if you'd like, so we don't try to, cheese you into staying. So the next update, drum roll, will come out on the 26th of May, which is next month. And in the lead up to that, we're going to have more news with Almir streams, where I'm going to invite developers who's going to join me to talk about Armor 2.0, etc., etc. Right? I don't want to spoil too much yet. Reason being, I haven't been allowed to say more yet. But the 26th of May, chat, that's when the next update drops. So now you know the most important thing, which is when. The next thing you want to find out is what. And for that, I'm going to come back next week with more details on what we're doing. So that is the news I'm sharing today. To those of you who had super high expectations going into this stream, you're probably going to go, what? Is that it? I'm so done with this game. And that's fine. I understand it's not, it's not 120 gigabytes worth of news, if you know what I mean. But you have to understand my position. Having been unable to say anything about the next content drop, finally being able to say something is huge. It's definitely 8 megabytes worth of news, lol. Making some mad, exactly. So chat, very excited about that. That is the news I'm going to share today. I'm making it very clear for those of you who tuned in just to learn anything new about Payday. this format, whenever we share small or more stuff, please feedback it. If you think News with Almir is a cool thing, let me know. And of course, there might be news with Howard, news with Elizabeth, and so on, depending on who's going to let you all know. But I think this format is a pretty cool way to talk about news and to share that news and to comment on that news. And yeah, we're also going to touch on why you heisters had to wait so long in the lead up to the next update, what happened, why we've been so quiet and so on. But I think, knowing when is... It feels like an ammo bag off my chest. You know what I mean? Because those things are pretty heavy. Murdered K pseudonym says duplicate heisters enabled. Gang is forever. 3 jackets and a clover. Ooh, that'd be nice though. Alex Cortez says thanks, Almir. Thank you. My life is yours. Cheers. Nixky. Hey, Nixky, by the way. Good seeing you in chat. News with Elizabeth. Is she coming back? I mean, she never left. She's just been working behind the scenes. Cool. So I'm going to repeat the message during the stream, the 26th, but make sure that you let heisters out there know that the 26th of May is the next payday update, and that is a Monday. So you know. Scrap to Spare says, so you have nothing. May as well go back to the Crime Boss stream, which has actual news and an actual roadmap that they've been able to deliver on. They're live right now and showing beautiful, fun features and interesting heists. Et tu, Payday 3? Love that Latin-esque ending reference. Am I Caesar? Is that what you're trying to say, Scrap to Spare? Appreciate your comment, dude, as always, and I hope you enjoy their stream if you're watching, buddy. But yeah, I can only say kudos to them for having so much information available to share with their community. I hope we will get there too with Payday 3 going forward for the remaining of year 2. Chingus Boy says, so is the stream done? Yeah, we're done. See you guys. We're not actually done. So even though that was the amount of news I had to share today, if you look at it from a binary perspective, it was an unlimited more amount than I've shared the past 80 days. That's a long time, gang. Chingus Boy says, bruh. Bruh. Aria Arcade asks a follow-up question. The 26th is when we get the new update or when we get an update on what's going on? No, Aria, thank you for your question. You're getting the update on the 26th. That would have been typical fashion of us to announce the date for another announcement. I think we've done our last of those, to be honest, right? So for those of you who might go, well, Almir, why don't you save news until a larger news stream where you can tell us about more things? And to that, given the context where we're in, where we haven't said anything for 80 days, my reply is, I think it's better that we do a news with Almir as soon as I have anything new to share, right? To keep you heisters in the loop. Because I think any waiting from here on, where we are quiet, is unacceptable. We have to be able to communicate with you guys what's going on, what we're doing, and when it's happening. And we need to reach that place. And if it's baby steps, wanker steps, where we do a date one stream and we share more information on another stream, that's fine by me. At least it's baby steps in a positive direction. Saw Runner says, thank you, Almir, in all caps. Thank you. Right back at you in all caps. I'll try not to yell that much this stream because people lost it last I did. MM64 Noob says, love you, Almir. Right back at you, MM64 Noob. Great seeing Elizabeth in stream. For those of you who've been asking where she is, she's right there in chat, fam. Red Tango asks, can you share how many people are working on the game since resources have shifted to other projects? No, I can't. I'm not. I'm not allowed to. I was about to say it's not a question of that. I'm allowed to do whatever the frick I want. It's more that we have a policy of not commenting how many individuals are on each project, and yeah, that's not up to me to change. Sprin02 in chat, good seeing you, dude, saying with the highlighted message, communication is the weakest that Payday or Starbreeze holds, but this is a decent approach to fix a problem that has been going on for years. But yeah, heart to you, Mr. Listo. Cheers, Sprin, right back at you, dude. And I agree, this is not the first time we have been incredibly quiet for a long time. Hopefully it's the last, but I think this is a good step in the right direction. Joe Dog 2 says, just hearing that makes me want to play again, to be honest. That's great, dude. Appreciate you. I don't know which part it was, but awesome. Hologramix1 says, Payday 3 is so close to being a great game. Why are we slowing down on the last hurdle, guys? Great question. We have some really cool stuff in the pipe. The reason we've been slow with updates, we'll go into and touch that topic on a later date. But I hear you, dude. Yeah, we need more news, but for now we don't even know what to expect. If Armor 2.0 is delayed again or not, for example. Vokimo, okay, frick it. Armor 2.0 is not delayed. It's part of that update. All right, so that's the second news piece you're getting today. I just want to make that very clear, because one of the issues with not saying things as a game developer, right, is that the things you don't say, the community will fill in the blanks. And if the community is in a bad place, because the developer has fricked up, which is our case historically, then they will fill those blanks from a negative outlook, right? Because what else is there to expect, you know? So this is our hope, my hope, that we can be more transparent and share whatever when we can, right? Atomic Dominic says, casually spreading the news with my buddies. We're all excited for May now. It's gonna be May. Thank you for that, Atomic. Appreciate you sharing the word. You know what my feelings are ever since I started in this industry regarding spending money to get the word out. I would rather see us spend that money on improving the game rather than spending money to tell people to buy the game, right? And I would rather have people like you, Atomic Dominic, tell your friends to check out Payday because you love Payday, rather than us paying people money for them to see a Payday ad and going, hey, maybe I should check this out. Because if you tell your friends, don't check out Payday 3, it's shit, then we need to do something about that, right? To change your opinion. So I really appreciate that. The Great and Powerful DC, good seeing you, dude, is saying, please address offline mode. We will. Not for this stream, unfortunately, but it is a topic that will come up in the coming weeks. This is what I'm hoping. The update needs to be massive. Yeah, massive is we're talking about what is massive? Is it 120 gigabytes? Is that what we're going for? It's going to be a good update. It's going to be solid. That's my feeling. Great and Powerful DC says in YouTube chat now. You're switching. In the coming weeks, he said the thing. Yeah, I did say the thing. And the reason I can't be more specific is because, I haven't been given more specific information. Gilby6 says, in the coming weeks, again. Gilby, I would love to tell you the exact date, just like I did with the update, right? But that's not up to me. But I appreciate your comment either way, broski. Sewerage Rodent says 380 gigabytes at least. Lol. Yeah, that is too big, maybe. 4,000 new masks, 30 heists, 10 new playable characters. That would be a 380 gigabyte update. Walala12 says 2 months for a hotfix, calling it. Oh, the burn. The burn is real. I certainly hope not. But like with anything we do for going forward, we need to lead by proof, dude. We need to lead by proof. Enough with that. Yeah, we'll talk about it in the coming weeks. You guys need hard dates, hard facts. Chat AI in the YouTube chat saying how many things will be in the update. Many. Exactly how many, I cannot tell you right now. Shit oil, says Henrik. Indeed. Best comment today. Thank you very much. Wavel543 says facts are on the table. I don't think the facts are on the table. I think the facts are known and established. I think the news are on the table, and you received one piece of news now that is no longer on the table, and that is the date. So for anyone who just stepped in, it's also part of the pinned comment. The next Payday 3 update will go live on the 26th of May. And on that note, speaking of Payday 3, why don't we play a heist? What do you say about that, Cheat? Technically 2 pieces of news, I guess. Yeah, indeed, DC. And I also spoiled that. I didn't spoil. We've said it for many, many months now that the next update will contain Armor 2.0. Lexi Lego says, how's the team feeling about content workflow? Last year had a monthly release cadence for most of the part. Are you guys looking to replicate that or looking more infrequent but larger updates? It's a great question, Lexi Lego, and I think that's a question I'd love to save for Andreas, the lead producer and the other part of this dynamic duo that him and I consist of. I think that is a great Andreas question, and I'll make sure to bring Andreas on stream in the coming weeks. There, I said it again. Hopefully next week I'll be able to get Andreas on so we can talk a bit more about the upcoming update. But either way, when we do that, we're going to lead that in with the news with Almir, so you heisters know that you ought to tune in if you want to find out what's the latest with Payday 3. Ryan Turner says, I love Payday 3. I love that opening. I love Payday 3. It feels like family, annoying sometimes, but always loved. Even 20 years from now, I'd still want to play. If offline and local co-op exists, I'll be happy playing with others. Cheers, Ryan. Appreciate your comment. Great and powerful DC says, oh, and another great question. When is Push to Talk dropping? Next question. I have no news to share regarding that as of now, DC. Also a good Andreas question, I think. Let's save that for him. Detective Sadist says, will the story be expanded or is the Concord plotline finished? That is also a very good question and nothing I can comment right now. Sir Taco says, Almir, will we have a new dev update video? You might. We'll see. Sometimes we like to change things up as well. I mean, given this new format as an example. Nuclear, where's the freaking invite? But we'll see, dude. There we go. Thank you, broski. UAE Demolisher says, what is the future of Payday 3 so far? I mean, you're looking at it, bro. We haven't communicated a year 2 roadmap as of now, but we are in development, working on new content, including new heists. That's a plural. And we just announced the next update, which will also contain Armor 2.0, and that's dropping on the 26th of May, which is roughly a month away. Bookish Boris says, read my highlighted reply, Almir. Alright, I'm gonna scroll on up and see if I can find Bookish Boris' highlighted reply. What the frick? Let's see here. How? Hold up, chat. When you're calling me out like that, Bookish, I gotta find you. And I gotta destroy you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Or maybe I did. Here. How far up is your freaking message, dude? What the frick? Are we playing today, Almir? I'm a little confused. Yeah, I'm playing, dude. We're in game. What's up, Latin Striker? Good seeing you. Janik in the chat. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see higher than in Payday 3. Luda Swag says, Almir, I'm a dying alcoholic. Come to Finland to drink a beer with me. Before it's too late, you mean? I hope you get better, dude. I don't want you to die. Bookish, I'm sorry, dude. I can't find your freaking message. Are you trolling me? I scroll all the way up. Write it again. Write it again. Use 200 more points. Iron Clover Gumbo says, Almir, for God's sake, I want a tuxedo and a Walther. The great and powerful DC says, the more resources you provide, the more you can expect in return. Has never been more true. That's a brilliant saying, the great and powerful DC. It must have been a genius who stated that. Unbelievable. Wow. Cannibal says, Mr. Almir, can we expect any news regarding Mask Mania or Holdout? I certainly hope so. And when we have news to share about those, it will either be shared through a News with Almir stream, or hopefully Paid Twitter Man will be able to tweet that shit. But you definitely deserve to learn more about that as soon as possible. Bookish says, Almir, the next update is on my graduate week. Is this your way of rewarding me? Yes. Because you've already finished, so you're just graduating. It's definitely for you, Bookish. Luda Swag follows up saying, Almir, my drinking problem is a non-issue. I need my payday coins so I can buy payday skins on the payday shop. Alright, noted. Sir Coffee or Latte, thank you for the hearts. Red Tango says, with great resources comes great content. Spider-Man, did he really say that? It sounds like a Spider-Man thing to say, but I'm not sure if I heard that one before. Cashing Out says, why would the team make Always Online the backbone of the game's foundation if they knew the support and servers would inevitably be turned off regardless of the Payday 3 was successful, profitable? I think the key word of your statement or question, Cashing Out, or speculation is the team. Was it really the team that decided on that? Or was it one individual in a particular looking outfit who might not be as knowledgeable as video games as others who work on the thing? That's all I will say on that topic. Damn, I'm late. What's the news, Almir? Dirty 2115. What is up, broski? So the news is that we're doing this new thing called News with Almir. So whenever I have even the tiniest of news to share, we're going to do one of these. I'm going to do you the benefit of letting you know at the start of the stream, which I did, what the news is. And then you can leave if you feel like that, or you can stay and hang out like tons of people have done, which makes me a happy heister. So the news is that the next update is coming out on the 26th of May, which is roughly 4 weeks away, right? So next month, y'all be playing with Armor 2.0 and some other cool stuff we're adding to the game. Let's go! Yes, JB11 says, Almir, the hater of suits. I think I look pretty good in a suit, though. Not gonna lie. Wink, wink. Almir, can you say for the Rock and Stone? I can always say for Rock and Stone. And you know what we think about management. We do what we do. We have to mine. We have to cook. We have to mine. Almir, you said that Days heists won't return in Payday 3, but can you bring back the part where the van crashes and you have to recover the bags because it was such a fun part of Payday 2? You like that? We call those escapes, Ambushed OO. And escapes was... it was both... it was a double-edged sword in Payday 2, I would argue. It was great because it broke up the game loop and the pattern, creating some new excitement. But personally, after having played I don't know how many escapes in my heist career, I grew pretty tired of the escape mechanic. But either way, cheers for the comment. Vice, M4Age in chat, the legend, saying the escapes were fun, in my opinion. Alright. Well, you can have your opinion, dude. Beyond Unknown says, we can expect at least an update every 4 months going forward. Beyond Unknown, I certainly hope you'll get updates for Payday 3 more often than that. But I won't say that now. I would rather let the developer team lead by proof and show you that rather than me saying that now. Stupidly Reckless Hannah says, hi, Almir! Hello, Stupidly Reckless Hannah. Be careful now so you don't hurt yourself watching my stream. We don't want to be stupendously wreckful now, do we? Damien Sin says, Almir, Nuclear is insulting you in the game. He's demanding that he wants to be a heister. I can't hear him. Maybe he'll be a heister if he learns how to use adaptive armor. Petey Twitman keeps mentioning Jimmy. That means he's okay, right? Also, where are those? Where are we on those maid outfits? I'm in the chat asking for them now too. I can't be stopped, says Phantom Scramble. Jimmy, I hope, is well, even though if he's unaccounted for. I think Petey Twitterman, I'm not sure if Petey Twitterman lives with Jimmy or what, but it seems that way. Crowbar says, news, you say? Yes, the news is the following. Armor 2.0 coming next update, and that update is May 26th. We're going to talk more about the next update. Armor 2.0 is not the only thing coming with that update. There are other stuff too, and we're going to share more details in the coming weeks, starting next week, or I mean starting this week, but we're going to continue sharing stuff next week. Ambush OO asks, Almir gaming in the upcoming weeks? Yeah, absolutely, especially since we're getting closer to some new Payday 3 content. I think that's definitely a great opportunity to jump back on that Almir gaming horse and ride off into the Horse Armor DLC sunset. Cashing Out says, if the team wasn't choosing always online as a means of making sure the game ran smoothly with server support, the only other reason for paid microtransactions, ones that the game doesn't have. I mean, it's a larger topic, cashing out, but I think you're making a great point. And I also want to be clear again, you're saying the team. Dude, not all decisions is made by the developers. Unfortunately. You think adding the Nuvo is a game dev decision? I mean, lol. Absolutely not, right? It's not a team decision. Most of the time. If it is, that team need to screw their heads on properly. You know what I mean? When would we get the German heister Schnitzel, says Yannick. That is the greatest question I've heard today. Thank you very much. I would love to see us add a German heister. And if we name that heister Schnitzel, nobody is happier than me. Taco says, hey Almir, has it been on the table to add a new difficulty or slightly increase overkill? Being Infamy 420, blaze it. I feel like the haters are falling a little behind. Good question. It's definitely a discussion in the team to look over difficulties, whether it's adding a new one or balancing the existing ones remains to be seen, but appreciate the comment. Pilot Awardable with a first-time chat saying, I've been hopping back into Payday the last couple of days for some simple fun. I have my fingers crossed I can get into the Marathon Alpha and play that for a bit. That's cool. Yeah, Marathon, I'm curious about that game. I was never... I didn't try the original, but from my understanding, they're not alike. Smogan says, hope Sweet Boy Neo is doing well. He is indeed. Thank you so much. Rex Sybil says, as a German, I approve of this idea. All right. Heister Schnitzel it is. Mr. Almir, is the spoon still in Payday 3? No, the spoon is not in Payday 3 as of now. We'll see. It looks like I'm fried here. I have missed so much community lore getting into the game so late, says Gidget. Don't worry about it. There is always time to catch up. Fnordy Wings 134 says, can already see the comments saying that on today's news there is news. Much love, Almir. Been loving Payday 3 so far. Can't wait for more. Appreciate that, Fnordy Wings 134. Hope you enjoy what we've got coming. Can't wait to share more details with you. I hope I will be able to squeeze as much information as possible from the dev team come next week so we can talk a bit more about the upcoming update.
I'll never see it coming.
So thankful for the May 26th news, dude. After all this time, it feels surreal, lol. Yeah, I know. I mean, again, it's 80 days, if I count correctly, since we said something new about Payday 3. So it's been simmering, dude. It's been marinating in the oven for a long time, and finally we can take it out and have a taste. Hazard 111999222 says, so will we hear about offline mode next week? I can't confirm exactly when the dev team wants us to talk about that, but as soon as they're ready, I will let you know. And I'll be happy to talk about it. MG David 1989 says, Dear Almir, what is with the important things? What is it with the offline mode? I hope you have not been giving up that hope, and I hope we be coming in the next month's good updates. And thank you that you have shared news with us. I love you and your dev team. I will forever be a big fan of Payday. Thank you so much, David. Appreciate that. And like I said, we're going to share more news in the coming weeks. And what I mean by that is in the coming 4 weeks leading up to the update, you're going to learn a lot more about what it contains. David P says, what do you think about Agent 47 from Hitman as Heister? I think that'd be spot on as long as you, from a lore perspective, can make that work. Hitman is usually known for dealing with people. Maybe not people like the Payday gang, but you never know. Oh, sorry, I didn't answer regarding the maid outfits, Phantom Scramble. No word on the maid outfits as of now. TB guys says, Almir, did you play that Oblivion remake? Not yet. I'm gonna... Whoa, I died. Rest in custody, Almir. I'm gonna jump on that ship tomorrow. So I'm gonna spend some quality time this weekend in Cyrodiil. Stop, your criminal scum! Anima Mangarina says, will we ever get more achievements for Payday 3? I enjoyed achievement hunting in Payday 2. Yeah, you and me both. And I pushed hard for as many achievements as we got in Payday 2 over its life cycle. I absolutely hope we add more achievements. I know there are several that are done and completed that is just waiting to be added to the game. But exactly when those will be added, it's something I'm waiting to get word on. Ducci says, wild idea. Payday X Mafia crossover. Italian, Sicilian, heister, great-grandchild of Mafia. Old country character becomes a heister but likes it as in the old days. Good suit, Bogart, Fedora, and a Tommy gun. That sounds beautiful. I'd love to see something like that, dude. Vladimir Lenin in chat says, next update when? You know, Vladimir Lenin, my favorite quote of yours, and I don't know that many, it goes like this. There are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. That's you who said that, Lenin. And we're in that kind of a moment with Payday 3 now, going forward, where you're going to learn a lot in the coming weeks that you haven't learned in the past few months. Whistler 3 says, do we know new news or did I miss no news? You missed it, Whistler, but I'm happy to repeat for you. So the news is that Armor 2.0 is coming next update, and that update is slated for May 26th, and that is a Monday in roughly 4 weeks. Maybe I could go in the actual bank vault. See what's up. Vestron says, are there going to be some visual enemy variations on the higher difficulties? The enemies from the Steam parts look badass. That is a great question and a great idea, and I absolutely think there should be some variations to signify that, like we did in Payday 2, for example. But I have no word on that for Payday 3 as of now. Tyke the Cool with the first time chat saying Payday 3 is peak. Yo! Let's go. Thank you for the positive comment. Jaywalking God says, will the next update contain at least 3 megabytes of table? I can't confirm that, but I certainly hope so now when you say that. I don't exactly know what it means, though. John Schroeder. Sorry for butchering your last name. Hopefully adaptive triggers haptic feedback and a built-in speaker is going to be taken advantage of on the PlayStation 5 controller. Hopefully. Almir, add an original Heist VTuber so that on demand he would lie down on the floor with a cute female voice and force people to subscribe and like. That sounds like nightmare fuel. Great and powerful DC says, any news on more voice lines being added? No news, but I certainly hope we do. I think Payday 3 lacks voice lines. It is quiet in here, man. And I'm not saying that because I'm not wearing any headphones. Because the gang needs to talk to each other, you know what I mean? It would be nice if the heisters had some conversations.
I think it is.
If they would talk to each other. Maybe like I'm talking to you. What are your thoughts on Payday 2's restoration mod, if any, SSD fee? I mean, mad respect, right? As far as I know, the restoration mod is a popular mod among the Payday community. And what else is there to do other than respect the grind? And thank you for adding stuff to the modding community. I mean, Payday 2 is known for having over 50,000 mods available, which is unbelievable. Cashing out says, Almir, is anyone working on the game looking at the challenge of the given difficulties? Overkill has been a snooze fest since Boys in Blues. That's the next DLC. I'm kidding. Great question, cashing out. Yeah, I mean, the dev team are talking about the difficulty and the need to address that, but I have no additional news to share on that topic. Scramble says, you mentioned adding the jukebox from Payday 2 into the game. Will Payday 2 tracks be there? I need Hot Miami tracks and 8-bits or so Skyrim Payday 3. I think the first thing that pops into my mind, Phantom Scramble, when you ask whether or not Payday 2 music can be in Payday 3 is license. So some of the songs we own as a company, some of the songs Simon Bicklund and other composers own respectively. So that would be the difficulty then, or the challenge for us to resolve. Dead Killer 52 asks, is this update gonna be huge? I mean, that depends on how you define huge. Is huge closer to humongous, massive, okay, mediocre? I don't know. But it's definitely gonna be an update of all time. Almir, please tell who voices Jacket. Oh, I wouldn't dare to say that to Topek. I don't want Jacket to find out I spilled the beans. Damienson says, Almir, can you confirm if the update is the size of a modern COD game? I certainly hope not, because I'm assuming that's big.
Oh, did we get everything?
Smokin says, love how it's always 3-player heists when Almir is part of the squad. How dare you? How dare you? Helghost says, it's gonna be the biggest update in the history of Payday 3. I don't know. Again, that would, again, I mean, define the biggest update. I think for some heisters it's gonna be huge. For others, they might not care as much. I think it depends on what your relationship is towards the type of content we will add. You know what I mean? Whoa, did we just... Do you have the explosive, Chickbunky?
How do you
Chat AI says, skill system rework? Great question. Nothing I have news of today, but that is also something on the developers' minds. Spudesi says, Almir, I summon thee. May I ask when the modifiers will be fixed? You may ask, but I will be unable to tell you. I have no word on that as of now. Im_SK says, have you thought about bringing back most of the modifiers, such as the ability to return allies through hostage exchange and others? Good question. Nothing I have information on today, unfortunately. Something by the Sun says, Almir, I want to ask, because you all at Starbase might not like this, I want to mod myself a challenge where I can't say certain words, and if I say them, 5 doses spawns in front of me. If I do it on solo mode, would that be any reason for my account being trouble? That depends on what those words are, which makes me go like... the whole family just came down the stairs.
In a one-door situation.
I don't see why we would act in any way towards you unless you give us a reason to. So best of luck with your stream.
One door.
Smokin' says, excited for the new Heist, dude. Yeah, man. Rogue Monster 173 says, hi Almir, any news I missed? Yes, my friend. Welcome back to the stream. What I said in the beginning of the stream is we have a new format now called News with Almir, where I will share news. I'm going to share those at the beginning of the stream and then repeat them during. But we just said that Armor 2.0 is coming next stream, and next stream, no, next update, I mean, and that update is slated for 26th of May. How do you get lost in a one-door situation is my new favorite line for this stream. Yeah, am I right? Yeah, it felt like I was playing a different game because I couldn't find the door there. Unbelievable, and I've been running those stairs for the past 10 years. It do be like that sometimes. Let's do another one. Nuclear, if you're up for it. Jaywalking God says, what are your plans on adding deployable horse that you can yeehaw across the Heist with a sword? Brilliant. Yeah, that's my thought. Brilliant. Spencer21_45 says, I want the Harvest and Trustee from Payday 2 in 3. Will that ever happen? Ooh, that would be great. One of my favorite heists in the series. Damien says, so Almir, can you give us a wink if a certain shotgun of yours will be getting a buff in the next update? Oof, I wish it would, but I cannot confirm that as of now. Private Annoying says, in terms of news, we have no news. Well, I mean, in terms of news, you have the news that the next update is coming on the 26th of May. So that is something. Mr. Chase says, no way I missed the stream and there's actually news. Cheers, dude. A random person real says, are there any plans on adding ladders in Payday 3 like in Payday 2? Maybe. Almir, where are the achievements? That is a good question, Twister FPS. Something I've been asking about and complaining about for a very long time. When I have news regarding achievements, I'll definitely let you know. Almir, Shadow Raid when? Unconfirmed. Honeydew says next update May 26th. No way. Yes way. That's when it's happening.
Hey, it's Mad Whiskers.
Da, 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 da. Taco says, regarding the game's narrative, have you considered covering the past lives of the original Payday characters before they became the robbers we all know? Yes, and we called that Payday Origin. Payday Origins. And we actually were making a project many, many, many years ago where we tried to make a story game of Payday. You remember the Walking Dead Telltale video games? So imagine something similar to that. But it never was realized. So absolutely, the thought has crossed our minds, visiting the past lives of the various OG heisters and exploring what led them to a life of crime. Absolutely, dude. Story game of Payday, take all my money, all of it. Am I right, Gidget? I mean, on paper, it was a brilliant idea, but unfortunately, the team that was in charge of delivering it were unsuccessful in their efforts. Fun fact, says Damon Sin, Telltale's Walking Dead game turns 13 today. No way. In the next update, Armor 2.0 and Heist is confirmed, right? Is that all, or will there be any surprise in that updates like returning Heist or new weapons? That's a great question, Element 115. And something I'd love to answer and will answer in the coming streams. We're roughly 4 weeks away from the next update, and we want to talk about everything it contains before then. So expect news on a weekly basis leading up to its launch.
I don't know if we're gonna go loud, but I think Almir might close it.
McKedder SCP says, so I'm asking, why 26th of May? Like, why that date? Several reasons as to why. Some I can't go into, some I can. So I'll let you know a few. So one of the reasons why we picked May 26th is that we literally could not release it earlier. So we wanted to release it as soon as we physically could after we finalized the details we needed. The other reason we picked May 26th is that it's a Monday, which means that if there are any issues with the build, which we of course are working towards there not being, then we are able to act on that straight away, since it's the beginning of the week. That's why we never release an in-game update on a Friday, for example, because people have weekends, and if there's something not working properly, that's going to put the community in a very weird spot. So those are a couple of reasons as to why.
I feel like this area being public is already kind of pushing it.
It's a guard.
Senpai Killer says, Payday 2 update used to be Thursdays and Wednesdays, indeed. And that started that way because we started back in the day doing the 3-day rocket things, where we would do a web page on the Tuesday, a microsite, and then on the Thursday we would release the update. And yeah, we picked Thursdays because it's the day before the weekend. People can check out the DLC or the free update and have a good time with their friends during the weekend. Hazard says, are we getting dev posts back or just streams? I hope we're going to utilize all the ways we can to communicate, including more dev blogs, videos, these streams, etc. I'm surprised Almir hasn't gone loud at, he says. Can I throw a grenade on the roof?
And so it begins.
Oh, I did? My bad.
He's a loud boy. I'm sorry. I just needed to. He wanted
Jaywalking God says, are there plans to add a no screen shake movement option for weapon interaction and start of end sprint? Not as far as I know, but it's a good question. Bender's back says, hey Almir, how have you been outside of Payday related things? Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much, Bender's back. I've been good, dude. I've been good. I haven't been streaming on Almir Gaming for a while, but I'm looking forward to the comeback stream. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be glorious. I've been enjoying spring, finally sprunging here in Stockholm. Weather's getting warmer, sun's getting brighter. Life's good, bro. And finally we can share when the next Payday 3 update is dropping, and that is May 26th. Hope you've been well, Bender's back. Good having you on stream. Blood for the blood god, says Damonson. Is that a Warhammer thing to say? Like corn or something? Lol, there we go, Almir. Loud boy, Listo! And in the red corner, weighing in at 493 pounds. That's actually not my weight. Almir, no news, or actually news, Listo! Who's my opponent then?
You still made it.
And
pretty
in the
far.
blue corner, weighing in at 120 gigabytes, the one and only Krabic, Karma Farmer, Gangster. Yeah, who would win? I think I'd get him. If it's 12 rounds, I win. Almir, help. Twitch won't let us leave, says Tyke the Cool. I think you need to take that up with Twitch support, dude. That sounds like a hostage situation.
He's not a fan of stealth. He's loud.
Hazard says, noticed you have mostly done loud heists. Not a fan of stealth? My friend, you must be new here. And no, I am indeed not a fan of stealth. You will hear me going loud most of the time. I am the ruiner of stealth heists. I am the prince of loud. And I guess it's because I like when gun goes pang, you know, or boom. Damien Sin says, so Almir, how I last stream found out there was some dried blood in the headphones? Is it possible the blood might be yours? What the frick? Well, I certainly hope not. Maybe I'm having a brain hemorrhage. Because I haven't been able to share any new news for 80 days. Maybe that's why. Him and Payday 3 is the real battle, says Vladimir Linen. What the frick? Senpai Killer Fire says, Almir, suggestion, add Twitch integration feature to Payday 3. Chat can spawn enemies or stuff. Yeah, that would be super fun. Great idea, bro. So if anyone is new to the stream and haven't heard yet, the news is that the next update, which will contain Armor 2.0 among other things, will drop on the 26th of May. KFC Chicken in the YouTube chat saying, Almir! What is up, dude? It's been a while. It's been a while since I had some KFC chicken. It's been a while. Make it the 24th May for my birthday, please. I'm sorry, dude. I cannot move it. It is the 26th. I cannot move it. We do not know what has happened with the other seeing stones. We do not know who else is watching.
Move it.
Would be amazing if there was a safe house added, but I doubt that would be for years given all the other work. Appreciate you, Hazard, and I absolutely agree. A safe house properly integrated could be a really, really cool feature in Payday 3. Am I getting fricked right now? If there is a safe house, I'll actually cry, says Gidget. Please don't cry. We got to wait a month, and I hope the update really is worth the long wait we had. I certainly hope so too, Redux. You let me know whether or not it was if you check it out. Landon Bowling in the YouTube chat says, Jesus Christ, another month? Best be like 2 heists, 2 characters, 2 massive changes to the game, and possibly all this for free. You can't go radio silent on us. I hear you, Landon. While I can't confirm your awesome request, I can confirm there will be new content. There will be more than I have currently announced, and we're looking forward to sharing that all with you in the coming weeks.
It's really hard to say.
Wow, these zappers love Almir. Yeah, they do, bro, and it's making me real angry. Nuclear says, Almir, what if you had a speaker instead? Although it could create a feedback loop, but then you could wear a hat and hear everything Almir, me, and Moomin made it 125, and you had news. Let's go. Yeah, maybe we'll change that. But I think before we get some speakers we should fix these freaking Wi-Fi circles I want to shoot with this shotgun like this. Speaking of Alfred K, all Wi-Fi circles
I
replaced with the big oil puzzle. That is a brilliant idea. I can get behind that.
Rubik's Cube, that'd be funny.
Honeydew says, Almir, are pancakes real? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Pancakes are more real than
just
waffles,
make the
in my
Wi-Fi
opinion.
circles option.
Element says, oh, and any update or progress regarding offline mode?
faster.
And another thing, I've always wondered in modding scene, there's a bunch of mods that fix ongoing issues. Why don't Payday 3 dev team cooperate with modders? It's a great question. And I absolutely think developers and modders should work
That's not
closer
true.
together for the benefit of the community. Regarding offline mode, I have no news to share today. I know the team will address the topic soon. In the coming weeks, exactly what day, they will let me know when, and I'll let you know when that is. Robert Banks says, news with Almir. What do we have to do for today besides of nothing? Today we have two things, Armor 2.0 next update and May 26th next update. That's roughly 4 weeks away, bro. Hope you are good, Mr. Banks. MC Keeter SCP says, Almir, we're getting a new update on the 26th of May, yeah? Yeah, that is correct.
Thank you.
And this will be for free, or we will have to pay for it? If we will have to pay, how much?
Wow.
Good
Thanks for
question.
reviving
We haven't announced whether or not it's free or paid content, and we haven't announced if it's paid, how much it's going to cost. But I'm sure we will in the coming weeks. Robert Banks character pack when, Almir? Whistler, we're still waiting for additional concept art from you.
Yeah, that
We
would've
cannot
been
complete the
insane.
character
Actually
unless you
something.
fulfill your end of the bargain.
Oh, you're asking.
Boy, if only I could blow up the Wi-Fi door with a C4, says Whistler. Indeed. Thank you for reminding us all of our savior, C4 and sauce. Swank says, I'm praying on my hands and knees for Branch Bank to return. Ooh. I would love to see Branch Bank in Payday 3. I think that would be such a good addition to one of my absolute favorite heists.
You cannot hide from the Supreme One.
I need a place to put my sentries.
Bender's Bank says, out of all the heists you worked on, Payday the Heist, Payday 2 and Payday 3, which one was your favorite to work on? Which ones do you enjoy playing the most? One I enjoy playing the most, which I haven't played in a while actually, is Slaughterhouse. Panic Room. A couple of really good classic Payday heists in my opinion. Which one I worked on that I enjoyed the most? I think working on The Secret for Payday
You
2
guys can
was
work on the
huge fun.
objective. I'll work on keeping Almir alive.
That spanned so many different heists and mediums. When it comes to specific content, good question. One heist that really stood out to me. Big Bank, I thought was brilliant. Everything leading up to that was such a key opportunity for Payday.
And I failed.
Scarface, big stuff too, yeah, for sure. You could use armor bags. It's a challenge mode I'm playing. No, Almir can't use one armor bag. Chat, don't tell them I just use
Not helping.
armor bag.
Or flying. Or looking.
And a weak ass armor bag too, with only 2 plates.
And take both plates for an
Where's the point with this laser tag shotgun?
Yeah. My sentry. Oh wait, you killed it. Thanks.
Alfred K says, Big Bank update is probably my favorite time of Payday ever. Yeah, Alfred, and I got a shout out to Tor Holmstein, who was the cinematic director at the time, working with me and the team on bringing Giancarlo Esposito and the
beard.
Dentist to life.
It just can't
The
be
timing of that, with Breaking Bad being as popular as it was, us bringing in Gus Fring to become the part of the Dentist in Payday. And I mean, that trailer, even though I'm not a fan of the beginning of the Dentist trailer, the dialogue of the dentist when he pulls off his thing and says, "I want you to work for me," and when he says, "I need my payday too." I mean, those are classic Payday lines, you know, and just such a epic
Where's
launch.
the blue keycard for that one door?
Almir, can we have some armor? Yeah, sure, dude. I'll put it next to the red
Their
thing.
shell acts like a suit of armor.
Swank says, honestly, I think a couple of small-scale heists like Branch Bank or Jewelry Store would be high impact to replayability. Even small missions can break the monotony for a lot of
You
players.
weren't listening. You just happened to be there.
Totally agree. There is so much room for improvement in a great way for Payday, both as a series, but Payday 3 specifically. There are so many things that you could do that would improve the experience dramatically, and I'm looking forward to sharing more details on exactly what we're focusing our time and efforts on for Payday.
I got the dozer.
TB guy says, I need my Payday 3. Yeah, that's been a long-standing joke. We've tried our best to incorporate that in a good way, but have not found a way to do so yet. Okay, that was a quick death. Let's go. Redux says, sadly, Almir says there's no chance of multi-day heists. I like that too, to be honest. Yeah, unfortunately, no multi-day heists for Payday 3 in the pipe.
Oh, why did I get armor?
Do 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 do. We're actually, I'm gonna, since I'm dead anyway, I'm gonna end the stream there. Thank you so much to all of you for tuning in today for News with Almir. Together with the dev team, of course, we're gonna check the community feedback regarding this setup. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much for staying here with me. This hour flew on by, and I look forward to coming back next week after I've spent the weekend in Cyrodiil with my weird ass looking fantasy character that I'll spend 4 hours in the character customization screen doing. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in today, Heisters. Like I said, News with Almir, May 26th. Be there or be square. Thank you so much, all of you. Have a great weekend, yeah? And I'll see you again on Tuesday. Bye!